really saw Skeletor as the kind of guy to keep a pet. But he did, and in fact really cared about this one. Yes, I'm talking about none other than Panthor. True to his name, Panthor was a purple panther who knew nothing but loyalty. While his master sat on this throne, Panthor was just happy to stay by his side on the cold stone floor of Snake Mountain. So without any further delay, let's check out everything we know about this furry animal.
Catch the rope, beast man.
The toy origin of Panthor. Imagine it's 1983. Masters of the Universe toys have already taken over store shelves everywhere, and He-Man's tough companion, Battle Cat, had just arrived the year before. Kids everywhere loved him, and Mattel, being Mattel, was quick to spot a new idea and saw the next step. Since every hero needs a rival, they created one for Battle Cat. That's how stories work, and that's how businesses work too. In 1983, as part of Wave 2 of the vintage MOTU line, Panther appeared. What made Panther more than just a villain's pet was his backstory. The mold actually started life in 1971 as a Tarzan jungle cat, was reused in 1976 for the Big Jim Tiger Trail set, and then again in 1978 for a Tarzan and Jungle Cat gift set, before becoming Battle Cat in 1982 and finally Panthor in 1983. Mattel considered making Panthor with moving joints, but sadly that never happened. The body and design stayed the same as those of earlier animal toys. For Panthor, they coated him deep purple, gave him a dark green saddle and made a bold move, covering him in flocking. This soft velvet-like purple fur made Panther stand out from all the other figures. It really makes you think about that choice for a moment. The villain's mount was made to feel soft and practically comforting. Battle Cat was all hard plastic and armor, but Panther's texture made kids want to hold him in a different way. Whether Mattel meant for that to happen or not, we don't know, but it definitely worked. In 2002, Panther came back in Wave 1, using the same mold as Battle Cat but with a new head. He had similar joints, a button for striking action, and his own armor with missile launchers. Like the 1983 version, this Panther was flocked. In 2011, they used the mold again with a new head, but this time, Panther wasn't flocked. The new version had a helmet inspired by Skeletor's Havoc staff. In 2021, the Origins line released another Panther to match Battle Cat, again using the same purple mold. The regular version wasn't flocked, but a special collector's edition flocked version was sold only at Walmart. This shows that Panther was always part of Mattel's plan to make villain versions of their hero toys. Just like Faker vs He-Man, Screech against Zor, and Night Stalker vs Stridor, Panther was made to face off with Battle Cat. While most of these pairs were created to sell more toys, the link between Panthor and Battle Cat became something special that went past just the toy shelves.
Excellent.
Panthor in the Filmation Animated Series. When Panthor appeared in the classic Filmation Animated Series from 1983 to 1985, he didn't try to draw attention to himself. Instead, he stayed quiet and thoughtful, which made him stand out even more. In the show, Panther was a steady presence in Skeletor's throne room at Snake Mountain, almost like a shadow that never left. His first appearance was in the episode called Diamond Ray of Disappearance, where he sits beside Skeletor. In the same episode, Skeletor rides Panthor to try to capture Castle Grayskull while He-Man is away. But the plan fails because He-Man is already inside and ready to stop them. There's a brief fight between Battle Cat and Panthor, though it would have been fun to see more. Early on, the show realized Panther was most effective without speaking. He did roar sometimes to scare others, but unlike Battle Cat, who could talk when powered up, Panther never spoke. He communicated through growls, roars, and by putting himself between Skeletor and everyone else. He didn't need words, as just being close was enough. That closeness was his message in every episode. Still, even that closeness had limits. Panthor had no patience for the evil warriors. He growled if they got too close and swiped at anyone who crowded him, making it clear that the throne room followed his rules, not Skeletor's army. The only real exception besides Skeletor was Evil Lyn. She was the one member of the evil forces he sometimes tolerated. Of all the evil warriors, Panthor was the least hostile towards her. Their somewhat friendly relationship shows up in the episode Evil Lyn's Plot, where Evil Lyn is seen sharing a moment with Panthor in the throne room. That says something about Evil Lyn's place in the group and also about Panthor's instincts. The Filmation series also knew when to hold back. Panthor didn't appear in every episode, and he wasn't just used for comic relief or as a background. When Skeletor rode Panthor into battle, seeing his fur and fangs in action meant the conflict was serious and Skeletor was relying on his most loyal ally. The 2011 OG Masters of the Universe Classics bio. This is when Panthor changes from just looking cool to actually having some real meaning. In 2011, Mattel released the Masters of the Universe Classics collection figure of Panthor and included a bio card that did what the best classics bios do. They finally gave some real story to a character who mostly just seemed like a toy or a throne room decoration before. The classics bio says that while Keldor was exiled from Eterno's palace, he saved a young Dilling's cub from a hunter's trap in the walkways of Lythos. Keldor, who later became Skeletor, named the cub Panthor after a tribal story his mom told him as a kid. Panthor stayed with him through exile, Hordak's magic, and everything that changed Keldor into the skull-faced Lord of Destruction. Panthor made Snake Mountain his new home and always stayed by Keldor's side, carrying him into battle, resting at the throne, and growling at anyone who challenged the overlord of evil. The bio also states that Panthor's species is Dillings, a native feline of Eternia. So Panthor isn't just a random fantasy panther. He has a real backstory, a species, and a name that Keldor picked because it reminded him of his mom's stories from before things went bad. There's a great connection here that fans have noticed. Prince Adam saved Cringer as a cub, and Keldor did the same with Panthor. Both formed a bond with their feline friends by choosing to protect something weak, long before they knew what they would become. That's some impressive symmetry. Panthor knew Keldor before he had a skull for a face, before Snake Mountain, before Hordak, the Havoc Staff, and all the darkness that followed. He knew who Keldor really was, and in this story, he never left him. That's what makes Panthor's character special. Everything else about him comes from that one truth.
Panthor, please don't play with the guest.
Panthor's upgraded role in the 2002 series. Right from the start, the 2002 Mike Young Productions animated series aimed to update the franchise, giving it a fresh look and proving its relevance for a new generation. This change really stood out with Panthor. The new design made him look much stronger, with bigger muscles and a fierce look that made the older Filmation version seem tame. The 2002 Panther wasn't designed to look royal or just sit by a throne. Instead, he looked ready for battle the moment you saw him. The show made good use of Panthor's new look. We actually see him fighting in the episode called The Beginning Part 3, which sets up the whole series. Panther goes head to head with Battlecat in a vicious clash, while He-Man and Skeletor battle nearby. This was the big cat showdown fans have been waiting nearly 20 years to see. Later in episode 25 and 26, the Council of Evil parts 1 and 2, there's another huge battle. He-Man and the Masters capture Skeletor's henchmen, but Skeletor himself escapes. He planned for his goons to get caught so everyone would relax, then teamed up with the new Council of Evil to surprise the Masters. Panthor is right there with Skeletor, just like in other episodes. During this dramatic finale, Panthor stands by Skeletor as the evil warriors launch their big attack on Eternia. The 2002 toy also kept the soft flocked fur that fans loved from the first version, so a new generation could enjoy the same texture. Unlike the 1983 version, this Panthor came with his own armor and even had missile launchers, instead of just reusing Battlecat's gear. He had his own weapons and fighting style. Panthor was no longer purely the villain's answer to a hero's cat. This time, he truly had his own identity. Panthor in 2021 Revelation. The 2021 Netflix series Masters of the Universe Revelation, a sequel by Kevin Smith, has sparked many great conversations among fans. There's one moment near the end that stands out from the rest and really deserves a closer look. Episode 10 of Revelation is called Comes with Everything You See Here, a clear nod to the classic MOTU toy commercials that kids in the 80s remember well. In this episode, Skeletor returns from the dead, though only for a while and without his full powers. He joins forces with Prince Adam on an unexpected mission to face Evil Lyn, now transformed into Godlyn after gaining the power of Grayskull. Their plan is to go to Castle Grayskull and try to resolve things, but it quickly falls apart. Godlyn is much tougher than they thought, and during the fight, Skeletor and Adam are completely outmatched. Panthor is there too, ready to help when Skeletor is hurt. Without hesitation, Panthor charges in, ignoring the danger. He always puts himself between Skeletor and any threat. Godlyn turns Panthor to stone while he's in midair, and it crashes to the ground, breaking into pieces. Skeletor reacts in a way we haven't seen in almost 40 years of the franchise. Instead of his usual cold or calculated response, he is filled with horror. You can see it on his face. He vows to defeat Godlin, not because of a plan or strategy, but because Panthor is gone. This is the most human Skeletor has ever seen, and it's powerful because of everything that's built up around his character over the years. From the classics bios to the Filmation shows and the 2022 battles, it all comes together in this moment, and the showrunners really understood what they were doing. Panthor's appearance in Masters of the Universe Revolution comic. In Masters of the Universe Revolution issue 4, the 2024 comic that ties in with the Netflix series, there's a really cute scene with young Keldor and young Randor together. They're joined by a little purple kitten. What's great is that the comic doesn't draw attention to it. Why do I say this? Because there are no subtitles or announcements. You would just see the kitten running down the corridor for everyone to spot and enjoy. It feels like a fun surprise that lets readers enjoy the moment on their own. Now, it makes not only me and others wonder if the kitten is actually Panthor, and it's hard to see it any other way. The story just became a lot more interesting. It makes me think Cringer and Panthor might have been there from the very beginning, always close to their owners. Honestly, that one panel changes everything. It feels like all the pieces finally fit together, reaching back through the whole story. Think about the Filmation throne room, the Revelation shatter scene, and even the original 1983 toy next to Battlecat. The parallel has always been there. This comic suggests the whole story goes back even further, to before these characters became who they are. Presently, it is really confusing what they are hinting at and whether we are thinking along the same lines. Nonetheless, it's impressive storytelling hidden in a single silent panel of a tie-in comic, and it really rewards fans who have followed the franchise for 40 years.
Panthor, please don't play with the guest.
After all this, in the end, it raises a question. If an animal can find something worth being loyal to inside Skeletor, what does that say about who Keldor really was? Is that person truly gone, or just hidden away? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Until our next video, thanks for watching.